Hi Flosstube friends, welcome back to my channel. It is Friday, August 11th, and I feel like I'm a little overdue for an update. I think my last video was back in June, so it has been probably about a month and a half since I filmed, and today seemed like a good day. We just had some thunderstorms roll through, so I don't feel like I maybe have the best lighting in the world, but we're just gonna go with it and see where we get today. So my last video was right after StitchCon, and I showed you a bunch of things that I had brought home from StitchCon. I found a few more in one of my project bags, and I'd like to share those because they're so cute. This is some floss drops from the Hawkeye stitcher, Debbie Beal, and she had stitched that little 2000, sorry I'm not going to take it out of the plastic, 2023 little thing that she had stitched. Those are adorable. I can't believe she stitched that. I got a piece of silk. This is a Bestitch Me. It's gonna focus on my face and not the silk. There we go. It's a pretty orange color. I don't know who was giving these away, but somebody had a bunch of silk that she was giving away. This is a little Ork container I got from Lori, who is one of my table mates. Isn't it cute? These look like some floss drops from Caffeine and Cross Stitch, the Uncanny Arcanist. Some plastic drops. This is a little scissor fob that I don't know who it came from. Some other little goodies, a sticker and measuring tape. Again, no information on who this came from. So if it's from you, maybe comment below. Some floss drops from Kate, who is from Hawaii. Isn't that pretty? She's from Maui. I hope you weren't affected by the fires, Kate. I don't know. I didn't bring a board. A little turtle pin. And then I don't know who stitched this. I remember picking it up, but isn't that cute? I can't believe you're giving that away. And then there was a needle minder attached to it. Okay, I found that stuff and I just wanted to share it really quick. Since my last video, I feel like my stitching has kind of been taking me all over the place. I have a big pile of stuff here to share with you today. Because I can't decide what I want to stitch, and so I'm kind of stitching everything. But I do have some finishes. Back in July, I tried to get these done by July 4th, but it was actually after the 4th. These are from Little Robin Designs. It's a series called Little Liberties. Here's one. I stitched this on the called for 40 count fiber on a whim with the called for threads. Finished it as a little pillow. Here's Justice. And Liberty. So, really cute little set that I was very happy to get done. And I actually sat down and FFO'd. And then I have continued to work on my monthly series, which I'm stitching Well Hello There from Hands On Design. I have showed you in past videos through June, so I finished July. I'm stitching all of these on 32 count white Lugana with the called for DMC, and then I picked up all the button packs from Just Another Button Company. Finished as a little pillow with just some blue gingham on the back. And then I finished August, which I love this color combination. I don't know what it was about this that was just perfection. Finished with some yellow gingham. And then I have finished stitching September, but I need to add the buttons and finish this up. And then I've started October, and this is as far as I've gotten so far. These are a really quick stitch. If I sit down and focus on them, I can finish them in a day. So they're very quick stitch, and I think they turn out really cute. This last week, I have been sorting through some of my whips. I have quite a few whips, but I took out a bunch of things where I maybe only had like less than 20 stitches on them, and I moved them into what I'm calling my kitted projects tote, which has gotten a little out of control. I have probably over 100 projects kitted up. So it's a little bit ridiculous. It's a lot of stuff that I need to work my way through. But my point of all that was to say I've been going through my whips, and a lot of my whips are smalls, and so if I would just focus on them, I would finish them. And that's kind of what I've been trying to do in a little bit in August. And so the first one I pulled out was from Stitchrovia, All Is Bright. This, I think it might be an exclusive to Caterpillar Cross Stitch, but I know that you can buy the chart from Caterpillar Cross Stitch. I'm not sure if it's a PDF, but you can buy it from them. I bought it when it was a kit way back last, I don't know, October, November. And I finally finished it. So there we are, all stitched up. So since I got it as a kit, it came with a 14 count Aida. I did swap that out for a 40 count for doll. And then I stitched it 1/2 using the called for DMski that came in the kit. So I think it's really cute. I would like to finish it as I was thinking a round ornament, but then I bought some of the Nurge hoops, and I was using the small Nurge when I was stitching this, and I kind of like it as a square. So I don't know, I gotta sit down, and I need to have like a couple days of finishing things because my projects that need to be finished has gotten a little out of control. And so I need to have a finishing day. But those are some of my finishes. I also stitched up and finished, this is the Cuckoo Bird sampler from Heart and Hand. So I stitched this on a 46 count, I want to say it's an Atomic Ranch fabric with the call for Weeks Dye Works thread. And I finished it as a little pillow. There's my backing fabric. This is just something I had in my stash. And then I used the Lady Dot Eyelash Chenille to finish it. So I have all of these birds from Heart and Hand, and I really want to get them stitched up. So especially when I finish this one, and I love how it turned out. So I started working on the Hummingbird sampler, and this is where we are with this. This is my new little Nurge hoop. I don't know that I love it. So I know a lot of people have been trying out these Nurge hoops, and I don't hate it. It does give you really good tension, but I don't like it when I have a lot of extra fabric. And I like my Q-snap. I like the bulk of the Q-snap in my hand better than I like this. This is great because I've been carrying it with me, so it just slides down really nice and compacted to my bag when I'm out on the go. So, and I love these. So I'm again stitching this on a 46 count. I think it's another Atomic Rage fabric with the called for Weeks Dye Works. I don't remember which one it is. I know this is the Classic Colorworks, I think. It's a green. But I have that one, and then I also have the Redbird kitted up, and as soon as I finish the Hummingbird, I plan to start the Redbird. And then I think I have the Bluebird kitted up, and then I think there's a Turkey and a Blackbird, which I have the patterns, I just need to kit them. So back in July, there were a couple weekends when I had events each weekend. And one of those events was a finishing class by Linda Stoltz, who is Erica Michael Designs. She had a finishing class that was sponsored by For the Stitcher Soul, which is a needle workshop up in New York State. I don't know exactly where it is, but it was a virtual class, and I had signed up back in February for it. And this was the class project. So this is Erica Michael's A Schoolgirl's Butterfly. And the class was to show us how to finish the tray and a berry. If you'll remember some from one of my videos a few months ago, back during the Jingle Ball, I took the berry finishing class from Erica Michaels, and I said that one of my goals this year was to finish a berry. So this class, I wanted to learn how to finish the tray and the berry. One of the things they did was when we got our kits, our class kits, it said, don't open this. We'll open it all as a class, and she'll go through how to finish everything, and then you can stitch it and finish it afterwards. Well, I know me, and I was a little worried about myself approaching it that way, that if I took the class and then, you know, however long it would take me to stitch it afterwards, I was a little worried I wouldn't get it done ever, that it would just be a perpetual whip in my whip pile, and I really didn't want that to happen. So as soon as I got the class project, I opened it up and started stitching it. So I started with the berry and I stitched that up, and then after the class I finished it. So here is my first berry. So it is a cute little butterfly with a J at the bottom. I don't know how well this is. Some little motifs on the side, a 1/1 2023. And then the class project came with the finishing things for the top and the pins. So that's my first berry, and I absolutely love it. So I fully intend to stitch more berries, and in fact I purchased I have a few of these Erica Michaels berries patterns, but I loved this one. This is Alpha Berries, one of her newer patterns, and I plan to kit that up really soon and stitch it. Some place to drop this. One of the other class things was a thread keep from Sampler of Memories. So, and then I also stitched and finished the tray. So I love this. So I think she had this kitted up with a 37 count legacy linen. I don't remember the color. I want to say Himalayan fog, but that might not be correct. And then it was also kitted with Gloriana silks, the red and the blue. It's just 2 colors, but I love it. I love how this turned out. So I almost got it completely stitched up before the class, didn't quite make it, but I finished it pretty soon after, and then I sat down and did the finishing. Don't look too closely at my seams because I am not a very good finisher, but I am super thrilled to have the tray and the berry done. So that makes me extremely happy, and I just love it. So, the other piece of the class was the actual sampler. It's a German schoolgirl marking sampler that Linda, Linda said that I think she has several of these, and this is one that she has reproduced. This is, I think, the original. So we got all the fabric and supplies to stitch it up too. I started it, and this is my progress. So I still have a ways to go on this, but I am loving it, and I fully intend to eventually get this done because I think it is gorgeous, and I would like to have it hanging on my wall. So that was the class from Erica Michaels. I loved it. The same day of that class, the local Samplers Guild had an event that they called the Blackbird Extravaganza, and I think they started it last year as a way to just kind of celebrate Blackbird designs and to remember, I hope I don't get this wrong, Barb, who had passed. Is that right? I hope that's right. But it was in remembrance of her and to just kind of celebrate their designs. And so I was free that day, and I was like, I'm going, I need to go. So it was a free event. When we got there, we were given these little note cards. So they just are made up with some graph paper inside. A little waxer. So that was one of the free gifts. And then throughout the course of the day, they did a raffle. They gave you I think they called it a door prize. So when you walked through the door, you were given a ticket, and they were calling numbers throughout the day. And when your number was called, you got to go back to this back table where they just had a bunch of patterns spread out, Blackbird design patterns, and you got to pick one. So everybody went home with a free Blackbird design pattern. This is the one that I chose off the table when my number was called. This is and blossoms as the rose. I just thought it was lovely, and so that was my choice. So you know, there's 6 or 7 projects in here, and so hopefully I will sit down one day and pick out a couple and stitch those. But because I was going to the Blackbird Extravaganza, I wanted to have a Blackbird project to work on, and I decided to start something new. This is from the Blackbird Designs book, In Friendship's Way, and I was working on this project, which I think is called, hold on, The Winter is Past. Here is my current progress on it. So I stitched on this all day at the events and a little bit afterwards, but I need to get back and finish it. It's just a little small. I'm stitching this on a 46 count linen, I don't remember the color, but it's beautiful. I'm using the called for threads. I think the only thing, I changed this to a J instead of the A that's charted. So I plan to get back to it, but that was my blackbird that I took to work on. Well, then they also had where you could buy raffle tickets for, I think they were $1 a ticket. And they had a raffle. So you'd buy a ticket, you'd go up and you'd put it in a bag of whatever project you wanted. And they were, I think they were all fully kitted projects, or, you know, I think there was, you know, the garden series where it's like 6 or 9 charts. So they had those all as a grouping and stuff. Well, I bought $20 worth of tickets. So I got 20 or 22 tickets. I can't remember what it was. And I ended up, they kept calling my numbers. And so I ended up walking away with 4 fully kitted Blackbird Designs projects. So the first one I got was Bluebird. And this is kitted up with a blue fabric and then a Threadworks silk. So all of the things that they were giving away came from the estate of one of the local women who had, I think she passed away a year ago or so, but they're working with her family to find a new home for her stash. And I think the Sampler Guild went in and bought all of the Blackbird stuff, and then they were using it, they were reselling it through the raffle tickets as, and then all the money that was raised was donated back to the family. So it was a fabulous cause. I walked away with some really great projects that I will stitch up. So I got that one, and then I got, this is 'Tis the Season sewing bag. This is one of those Lady Prim Society, I think that's Dying to Stitch, right? One of their kits, club kits. So there's the pattern, and then you've got the fabric, the finishing stuff, and I believe the threads are in here. Yeah, the threads are in there. I also won Wild Berries. Just big, beautiful blackbird. Sorry, I'm not taking any of these out of the plastic. That's too much work for today. With the fabric and all the threads. I'm not sure if those are the called for threads, but it's beautiful choices, and I fully intend to use them on that project. And then the last one I got was Bountiful Harvest. Another beauty. Stitch and buy all the blackbirds, right? So my goal, I'd like to get, I think they're going to hold that event again next year, and my goal is to have a couple of these at least stitched up to go on the brag table at that event next year. It was, so those were a couple of really fun events I had in July, and I really enjoyed them and obviously got some really good stuff out of it. So, while we're talking about Blackbird Designs, I'll show you where I am on my journey piece for the year, which is the Blackbird Design Seasons. If I had been smart, since I had a full day where I was just stitching Blackbird Designs, I should have taken this project instead of starting something new. But like I said, I've been all over the place. But I did work on this a little bit in July, and here is my current progress. So summer's done. Autumn, I've got the one side almost done. I'm getting ready to stitch this big bird. So I really need to have autumn done in August to stay on track for this. So I'm stitching all 3 together, and I need to have them done by November. So I really want to finish autumn in August, and then I'll have a couple months to work on winter. It's really not that hard to stitch if I would just stay focused on it. But for some reason, this one, I'll stitch on it a day, I'll enjoy stitching on it, and then I get distracted by those squirrels. So I think it was on the 4th of July weekend, maybe been as another weekend, but Primrose Cottage Quilts had a sale on their site. I wasn't gonna buy anything, but I had a few things that I have been looking at for a while. And the first was their Christmas quilt pattern. So I picked that up with the finishing kit. So all the little goodies to finish this, including the buttons. So, or not buttons, those are pins. I picked that up, and then I also picked up the Welcome to the North Pole pattern. I bought everything. Well, I bought the pattern, the threads, and the buttons. So I'm all ready to go. And so last weekend I went to another stitch-in at the local library. It's a group of ladies from North Georgia that the woman who put it together is hoping to do it once a month or so. And hopefully I can make more of them because it was really fun. I think there was only 4 or 5 of us that showed up, but it was lovely to meet some new people and just have a fun day of chatting and stitching. And so I started Welcome to the North Pole while I was there, and this is my progress. I'm stitching this on a 32 count taupe Lugana with the called for, I think it's mostly Classic Colorworks with a few DMC and Weeks Dye Works thrown in there. So I had the thread pack, so why not? Sorry, I have a bunch of needles just sitting here, so I'm gonna poke them in so they don't end up on the floor in my foot. But when I purchased those things from Primrose Cottage, they threw in a bunch of these fat quarter packs. So these ones are a combination of Christmas and some St. Patrick's Day, some more St. Patrick's Day. I don't know, I guess I spent a lot of money because I ended up getting 3 of their fat quarter bundles. So those will be fun for finishing something. But that was July. So let me show you all my other whips. Like I said, the first one maybe you can help me with. So I decided that I want to stitch the new series from Country Cottage Needleworks, which is their Beach Boardwalk series. Here's the first pattern. And then the second one has also been released. So I bought this, I bought all the called for thread. I started stitching this on this 46 count blue fabric. It's a very light blue. And I decided that I didn't think my white stitches were showing up very good. So this was my start on this. I wasn't loving it. And so I went through my fabric stash and I started it on, I have needles all over the place on this. I started it on a 32 count. A darker blue that I had in my stash. And I was loving this, but something told me while I was stitching it to check my fabric size. And y'all, I'm not gonna have enough. So I want to do the whole series as a line across, and on a 32 count I'm going to be about 2 inches short on my fabric. So, you know, I have a little bit of room over here, but I wouldn't have enough room on the end. So that frustrated me and I stopped stitching on it, and now I don't know what to do. I don't know if because I was enjoying the 32, if maybe I just need to find a similar blue with more room, a bigger piece. If I just need to go back to the 46 count and give it a shot, because I'll have plenty of fabric if I keep going on this. Or I don't know what to do. I don't want to give up on it because I do think it's a cute series, and I've you know, I'm doing the auto ship, so I've basically pre-bought all of them. I just don't know what to do. So it's in a little bit of timeout until I figure out where to go with it. I think my instinct is to just get a new piece of fabric and start over again. So I'll start it for the 3rd time and just find something that's going to be enjoyable. I do have more of the taupe fabric that I'm stitching Welcome to the North Pole on, and I think it would be really cute on that. The white stitches for the North Pole are showing up fantastic, so the boardwalk would also. It's a 32 count. I had a full yard of that 32 count taupe, so I probably have a piece that's long enough for it. That's kind of where my instincts are going, but what do you think? Do you like it on the blue? Should I stitch it on the taupe, or should I dig through my stash and see if I have another option? I don't know. I'm all over the place and I don't know what to do. Let's move on. I saw this on the brag table at StitchCon. This was from my sister's sampler. This is the Ann Richardson sampler. And it was beautiful. And I loved it. And so I found it. I forgot. So my sister's sampler, they don't sell them as a PDF. So you have to get them from a needle workshop. I found mine. It's the needle workshop that's in Texas. Golden Needle, I think that might be right. They had it in stock, and so I ordered it from them. It came really quick. This is charted in Vicki Clayton silks. So while I was at StitchCon, I was talking to, is it Ian? I don't know. I was talking to somebody, and he told me that I needed to try the Vicki Clayton silks, that I would love them and I needed to try them. And so she has a silk pack for this. Her silks are relatively affordable. They come on a little spool, and I think the spools are like $3 a piece. And then she will do conversions for you on a lot of charts. She's already got a bunch on her website, but I think you can send her a message and ask her to do a conversion, and she will do it for you. I think if she has time or whatever. Talk to Vicki and see what she can do. But I bought the thread pack for this, and I started it on this 40 count Verdal piece of linen that I had picked up at StitchCon. I think it's called Swiss Mocha. And I love it. I don't know if it's the silk or this fabric, but everything about this is just yummy to stitch with. So this is my current progress. Because of this, because of the fabric and the silks, I bought some more Vicki Clayton silk, and I joined the Fabric of the Month Club through, what did I just say the fabric was? Why did I just... Oh my gosh. Hold on. Grace Notes Fabrics. I joined her Fabrics of the Month, and this is the first one that I've gotten. I can take it out of the package. This is Peaches and Cream. It's a 40 count for doll, and it's beautiful. I love it, and I'm so happy that I joined her. Because basically I started stitching on that fabric and was like, I love this and I need more of it in my life. And so I went to the Grace Notes website. You can buy fabric. I don't know what her turnaround time is, but she has a Fabric of the Month, and I think that she has space. So I encourage you. I'm the world's greatest enabler. Next up, I purchased the Santa Stops Here silk conversion kit from Katie Strachan Embroidery. This is the pattern, and I think this is a photo of Katie's version. So it's a combination of the 103 silks. It's a 37 count legacy linen that she kits up, and then all the little extras. So in this one, it included the ribbon, and I think there's some beads, everything you need to stitch it, except the pattern. So I actually didn't have this pattern, so I went out to Colorado Cross Stitcher. She had it in stock, and so I ordered it, and this one's all ready to go as soon as I want to sit down and start stitching it. Well, as you know, when Brenda Gervais released that pattern, she also released a companion design of Rudolph and Friends that uses all the same colors. It's just a smaller little pattern. So I used that silk conversion from Katie Strachan and started stitching this. This is where I am. I don't think you can see my white stitches at all. I think they're going to be completely washed out. This is a 40 count color and cotton Florence fabric. It was just a scrap that I had left over in my stash, and I decided to start working on that ornament. So, did I need the Katie Strachan silk conversion kit? Of course not, but I'm happy that it's in my life, and I'm going to use it to stitch things. I'm all over the place this morning. The last whip I pulled out to show you was my most recent start. This is from Hands Across the Sea sampler. This is the Ellen Barber 1895 Home Sweet Home sampler. It's really cute. So I saw that somebody stitched this and posted on Instagram and absolutely fell in love with it, which is why I jumped out and ordered this. And it's charted with silks, but there's a DMC conversion, and so I just purchased the DMC for it. Well, it turns out the person I saw on Instagram didn't use the called for DMC, and I figured this out after I had already started stitching it. So this is my current progress, and it's lovely, but it's not what I saw on Instagram. So I think what I've decided to do with this, so I started it on a 32 count white Lugana. I was going to do 40 count, but I decided I'd stitch it on 32. I love the blue. I love the orange. I can live with the green. So I'm going to frog the pink, the brown, and this other blue under here, and try to find something that matches more along with the lines of the photo I saw on Instagram. So I don't remember who posted that, but I don't know, maybe I'll message her and see if she'll give me her conversion. I have a feeling that she stitched it with silks, and I don't necessarily want to buy the silks for it. So I think that what will be better for me is just to go through and kind of go through my DMC and match it up the best I can and find something that I'm a little happier with. I think it's the brown that really threw me. So that B is a brown, and then that C is sort of washed out. I want more vibrant colors, basically. I want it to be more colorful than the called for. So I'm planning to do a little frogging and a little converting on that one. But I think those are all my whips. So all I have left to show you is my stash enhancements. I showed you a lot of what I've purchased because a lot of it that's came in I have started using already. I couldn't wait to find time to film a video before I started using things. So in addition to being in the Grace Notes Fabric of the Month Club, I am also in the Fabric of the Month Club from Farmer's Attic, where I'm getting a piece of 46 count. It's Atomic Ranch and Rogue fabric. It alternates. And so this is the July. It's an Atomic Ranch Prairie Land, which I don't want to take out of the fabric. So it's a darker mottled brown color. So I have no idea what I'm going to stitch on that, but I have it. I also have picked up the Erica Michaels For the Seasons. This is summer and spring. I would like to stitch these, and picked up some of the called for thread as well. While I was buying Hands Across the Sea patterns, I also picked up Eleanor Law 1899. Just a little red sampler. Focus. So it's a sampler, and then it says waste not, want not. And for this one, I picked up a couple skeins of Weeks Dye Works Turkish Red instead of buying silks for it. I also got the October Fiber House Deck the Halls. I love this little pillow. Oh, focus. And she released All Is Calm. So I love those because I'm on a sampler kick and I love these. I picked up from the Heart Needle Art. These are her little sampler series. I got Catherine's little sampler. And Susan's little sampler. She's a beautiful little butterfly. Then I needed some thread, and I looked, everybody was out of stock. I forget what it was. It was a silk. I think it was a Gloriana that I was looking for, but I found it in stock at the Black Cat Stitchery, and they were fantastic. So I highly encourage you to order from them. So I picked up the thread, and then I threw in this Brenda Gervais Every Opening Flower chart. But what she did is, when she messaged me right away because one of the threads I ordered was out of stock. So she messaged me and told me that, and she's like, I'll just keep you in the queue, and when it comes in, I'll send it. And I'm like, okay, fine, that's great. Then I get an email from her a couple days later, and she's like, I refunded you some money because it turns out we were having a sale and I didn't catch it in time to add it to your order. And I'm like, she didn't have to do that. You know, I didn't know they were having a sale in their store. I was just ordering online, and I don't know, it hit me as just being really sweet and wonderful, and I encourage you to order from them. She also threw in a pen from the Black Cat Stitchery in with my order. Well, I was watching somebody's Flosstube video. I unfortunately can't remember which one it was, but she was doing a whip parade, and one of the whips she showed was from Quaint Art Needle Arts. Tweet. I don't know, I love him. Well, then I went looking for it. You can buy this as a PDF from Quaint Art Needle Art, but it turns out that it is kitted and the model is stitched using Leo and Roxy thread and fabric. I've never purchased or used Leo and Roxy, and something told me that I should. So I ordered the chart from Evertote, and I got this is a 46 count catnap fabric, a linen, and then all the lovely called for threads to stitch up tweet. So, and then I threw a couple more threads into my cart. I got Ampersand, Inappropriate, and Back to Fuchsia. Those are lovely names. One, because you can never have enough like dark colors, I don't think, in your stash. And I just thought these were pretty, and I wanted to see what they look like in real life. So those came relatively quick, you know. Evertote's in Canada, so, but I don't think the shipping wasn't bad, and you know, you do have to convert from Canadian dollars to the US dollars, but not a big deal. Really happy with that. And then the last bit of stash enhancement, I have a problem with buying project bags. I just keep buying them even though I don't need them. I mean, it could be crack, so it could be a worse problem to have, but I need to stop buying project bags. I have enough. This one is from, it says PT Bags. That doesn't seem right. I'll look it up. But this is a bag that was made with the new Teresa Kogut Christmas fabric. And what I've decided is I don't like the vinyl front bags. I think they're beautiful, but I feel like I have issues with the vinyl front bags, and so I want the bags that are closed up. And so I know Goose had released a series, what do you call it? She'd released some using the same fabric, but I just don't want vinyl front. So I found this one instead. There's a polka dot fabric on the inside. It's a lovely bag. It's thin, but it's lovely. The next set of bags I got come from Stitch in Peace. It must have been on Instagram or something where I saw this, or maybe it was on Etsy. I couldn't stop thinking about this bag. So, I don't know, there's just something about this girl. And then the backing fabric. I love this bag. I saw it and I was like, no, I don't need the project bag. And I walked away, and then I couldn't quit thinking about it. And when I went back, it was still there. It's lined with this blue fabric, but it's beautiful. And it was really affordable for this size, and you know, it's the heavy quilted bag. So that's from Stitch and Piece on Etsy, and it's beautiful. Well, then I also saw this hummingbird. It said it was an accessory bag, but y'all, this is a regular project bag. I don't know what the size of it. I mean, compared to this one, it's smaller, but it's a good size bag, and it's beautiful. Here's the backing fabric for it. And it was super affordable as well. I think, you know, it was under $20, I think, for this accessory bag. And then she threw in one of these little pop-up Ort containers in the same fabric that's on the back of this. So just fabulous. And I love that bag, and I think her prices are, I think she's underselling herself, if I'm honest. So if you see this, maybe bump your prices up a little bit. I think you could get more for your bags. They're super good quality and they're beautiful, but if you're gonna keep them that price, I'm gonna keep buying them, unfortunately, because I have a problem. Oh, all right. I think that's all the stitching I have to show today. I'm sorry if this video feels like it was all over the place. July was busy, and August has been pretty busy. Luckily, I am home all this weekend, and I don't plan to do anything except maybe a few errands. Like, I think I need to go to the grocery store and do some laundry and that sort of thing. But I'm hoping to get some stitching done and just kind of catch up with things, because I haven't been home the last 3 weekends. So I had the Blackbird event and then some other things going on. Then I went to the Stitch In and stayed there all day on a Saturday, and then I forget what we did on Sunday, but I wasn't home. Last weekend, I went up to Tennessee. I have a friend that lives up outside of Knoxville, and she's actually gone, but one of my other friends was up there dog sitting for her. And she's like, hey, Jamie, come up and let's go to Anakeesta. I'm down. So I went up there and stayed at my friend's house for a couple nights. And Anakeesta is in Gatlinburg, which is just outside of the Great Smoky Mountain National Park. Gatlinburg and Pigeon Forge is like it's a huge touristy area. Like, they've got, you know, a bunch of amusement type park things, and Anakeesta is basically an amusement park built up on top of this mountain. So to get up to it, they have basically a chairlift that'll take you to the top. The line, it was hot as can be. The line and the wait to get on the chairlift was over an hour when we got there. So we took one of their shuttle buses. They have these trucks that'll drive you up the mountain, and the wait for it was like 15 minutes. So we jumped on the truck, rode to the top. They have a bunch of attractions. They have like a roller coaster thing, zip lines, bunch of stuff for kids to do. There's like a swinging bridge thing through the forest that we did do. But our whole point of going was because they had a nighttime light show where it's basically, I think they call it an art exhibit out in the woods, where, you know, it's lights. It's a light show. It was really cool. I'm really glad we went. I saw some black bears. Saw 2 black bears. There was one just kind of, he came up the hill we were sitting and just trying to cool off and wait for the light show to start. And we saw a black bear then. And then when we were walking down to the light show, one ran across the path right behind us. So, you know, part of being up in that area is there's a lot of black bear activity, but it was fun to see them. One thing I will say about Anaquista is it's not super accessible. You have to be able to walk and to hike around on things. I don't know if you're like wheelchair bound or had problems walking, definitely don't go there because it is not an accessible place. Like a lot of the things you have to go upstairs and you have to, I don't know how they just they're adding on to it too. Like they're adding more exhibits and stuff, and I can't say I recommend it is what I'm getting at. When we were first driving up there, I actually made the comment to my friend. I was like, oh, I should bring Scott, my husband, up here because I feel like he would love this stuff. But then after being there for a couple hours, I don't have any desire to go back. I'm glad we went and saw it, but it's not someplace I would recommend. I think if you're going to go up there, go to the Smoky Mountains and hike a trail. So, that's my 2 cents on that. Next week, I have to make a trip for work down to Pensacola. And I think my husband's actually going to go with me, which he's never gone on any of my work trips with me, but I have a meeting and some stuff to do on Tuesday and Wednesday. So he's going to hang out at the hotel and then we're going to make a weekend at the beach. So that'll be fun. This isn't my favorite time of year to go to the beach because it is hot. And you get a lot of the afternoon storms coming through. So I don't know. It'll be fun just because we haven't really done anything together in a while. So it'll be good to spend some time with my husband, and I do love going to the beach. So I look forward to that. And then I don't know what else. I do want to get some stitching caught up on some of my stitching because in September I really want to participate in Sampler September. So I'll try to do another video around the 1st of September to show you what my plans are, but I really want to make some progress on some of the samplers that I've started, and I have a couple more that, like the Tweet Bird, that I kind of want to start. Plus I have a retreat towards the end of the month that I'm going to, and hopefully I will have my small stitched up for that before the 1st of September. So I'll try to do another video to show you that. So those are some of my rough plans. If you've watched my videos before, you may know that my plans are roughly drafted and they are highly subject to change. So anyway, I need to get to work. So I hope you guys all have a wonderful day. And I think that today might be World Cross Stitch Day. If it is, get some stitches in, and happy stitching, everyone. Until next time, bye.